We begin with sports this time around, and it's 2 days to the World Cup in Russia. Thousands of football lovers will throng that country to follow the thrilling action that will take place on the pitch. Others will also be glued to their TV and radio sets to monitor the most popular games in the world over. But before the action begins, we ask, how much of Russia do you know about, and what can you expect from that environment just in case you want to be there to feel the action? We'll be bringing you a report of Russia in pictures ahead of the World Cup 2018. But before we go into details of that story, the Accra High Court has placed a 10-day interim injunction on all activities of the Ghana Football Association, GFA. The order of the court therefore bars the GFA and its officials from carrying out all official duties, such as the organization of football matches, setting of the association's assets, appointment and election of officials, and other official duties. The ruling of the court follows an application for a restraining order on the GFA while legal processes are being taken to liquidate the association. In her arguments before the court, the Attorney General, Gloria Ekufu, stated that the GFA was being used for illegal purposes and hence the responsibility of governments to protect the interest of the public.
It's really intended to hold the situation so that, one, pending the determination of the petition, which is asking that the GFA be liquidated, because it is the view of government that the GFA, as constituted presently, is not performing the objects for which it was incorporated. And from the ANA's video, clearly it's being used as a vehicle for illegality. And the government cannot sit back, and therefore the Attorney General, as the protector of the public interest. Because remember, government puts in a lot of support, be it financial or logistic. So we cannot spend even 1 second. And significantly, if you go back to the GFA Commission report, it's a clear indication that these things have been going on for far too long. As justice, as a person who should be promoting justice, I will not refuse to hear them. But that should not change the process we have started. I have not received, you are telling me for the first time, I do not know about this intended meeting, but anybody, as a public servant, anybody who seeks to me, as much as it's practicable, I will see. As to the outcomes, I cannot be there. I can only say categorically that we will go on with this petition. We are seeking a restructuring, and for that reason, we have requested, when I say we, I mean government, has requested both FIFA and CAF, because government is seriously taking into consideration how FIFA operates. So we are soliciting their support and cooperation to deal with the matter. It is inequitable, it's illegal, it will be irresponsible if we continue to sit back and allow the FA, as presently constituted, to continue to operate.
In terms of a new way of constituting the FA, will government be looking out for perhaps having a say in how things are managed at the FA?
We are asking that the court should order that the Registrar General, as the legal liquidator, be asked to take over. That will be the body that will see to the future of the establishment of the administration of this football in the country. So we are not just throwing the baby away with the water. But you don't add rotten soup to fresh soup. So we need to get it right. Perhaps now is when.
Attorney General Gloria Ekufu there speaking to my colleague Joseph Akable. Let's try and delve a bit deeper into the latest happening with the GFA. My colleague Benedict Owusu of Joy Sports has joined us in studio. Benedict, so the GFA has an interim injunction on its activities.
Exactly.
Practically, what is the GFA going to do that they cannot do now?
Well, so many things. One is got to do with administrative work at the Football Association. That will not happen. Also, if let's say there were friendly matches involved with our any of our national teams, that will not happen. We understand that the Black Maidens and the Black Princesses team are in camp, and probably if these teams were to move out of the country, that will also not happen. So it's got to do with the activities of the staff members at the Football Association. Already, that place the CID says the place is a crime scene. So, and yesterday they refused entry, the workers' entry to the facility. So that's going to continue. No staff member will be allowed into that building. So all the activities, including football, and for the FA, the Premier League is on hold now, and they even released a statement that the Premier League, as well as the MTN FA Cup and the Sanford Women's Cup, were all on hold. So as we speak now, all those ones will continue to be on hold. The Xylophone Cash Premier League, the first one which ended, if there were plans to play or start the second one, let's say this coming weekend or next weekend, because of this injunction, that will not happen as well.
And I remember very well the spokesperson for Mediama Sporting Club complaining because his team was on top of the league.
Of course. I mean,
at the time,
if you're on top of the league and you're playing very well, you would want to keep the momentum and go on and see if you can win the Premier League. So for Mediama, I'm not surprised that they were complaining.
They would complain. The Attorney General mentioned speaking with CAF, speaking with FIFA, and a number of these games have international implications. What then does that mean?
Yeah, of course. I mean, what the government is trying to do is they don't want to incur the wrath of FIFA, where it will be banned because of the investments they've made in competitions like the African Women's Championship, which we will host here in November. What it means is that government has already committed $8 million to that competition. So if you take any drastic decision and you don't go the procedure which FIFA will not ban us, and we eventually are banned, what it means is that that competition will be taken from Ghana. And already the Accra Stadium that we are renovating, the $8 million you've committed into that competition, there is an LOC working, you will lose. Our team, the Black Maidens, have also qualified for the FIFA Under-17 World Cup in Uruguay. Black Princess will also play, Black Stars to play in the AFCON qualifiers in September. And you know, we all love our football. Yeah. It's not just about us journalists. The people of Ghana are so much into football. That's where we are today. So what it means is that governments want to take steps that will not incur the wrath of FIFA. And I feel that they are in the right path. Yes, it's good to talk to FIFA. So you go to FIFA and tell FIFA that, well, this is what is happening in our country based on ABCD, and these are the evidence we have. Since you run football and you are the body and the passion of the nation is football, what do you suggest we do? But they are taking steps here as well to ensure that whatever that has happened previously will not happen again. It's
quite interesting, of course, to acknowledge that FIFA itself is taking action because of this same documentary.
FIFA are also cleaning their house as well. I mean, you remember what happened when Sepp Blatter was on. Now FIFA are also fighting to redeem their image. So if a member association is also in a similar crisis, then it beholds on you to try and help them get to the level you also want to get to.
Now, Benedict, a number of meetings have been ongoing. We understand Galka has been meeting. The executive committee of GFA is also supposed to meet the sports minister. What do we know out of those meetings?
All right, so it was how do you say, executive committee was supposed to meet, Galka supposed to meet, so 2 meetings in one. Yeah, so that's what happened yesterday. Initially, you know, there was a 5-member committee that was set up.
Yes.
Yes, the 5-member committee that was set up to meet government. It eventually became a 7-member committee. Okay, so Galka yesterday met at the Accra Sports Stadium, and in that meeting, they agreed that there should be an emergency congress, and at the emergency congress, they will look at the footage of Anas and everything that happened in that, and also look at other matters. And then we'll also look at how they can put up a roadmap to ensure that going forward they gain public trust, because you know now the confidence in football administrators and those that run football is no longer the same as it used to be because of things that have happened in the last 1 week. So these were things that they raised, and then a meeting was arranged between the 7-member committee. Initially it was the 5, then they collapsed it to 7, which one key member in that 5 was added to this, together with the Galka president, that's Chairman Kujo Fiano, as well as former Vice President Joji Frie. Wasnatha was there, Nana Sambu Butler, former Football Association Chairman, was also in that committee. And yesterday, around 6:30, they met the minister. So they presented these 2 issues. One, to tell the minister that they are going on with a congress, which they would
You
want
mean GALCA or GFA?
No, GALCA, not GFA.
Would have the Congress.
Because the GALCA is a club body. It's a Ghana League Clubs Association. So the clubs, they make the GFA. Because if you don't have a club, you cannot become a member of GFA. Okay, so the 70 members agreed, they voted on that, and out of the 70, 42 agreed that they hold that emergency congress. And so they were going to tell the minister, since government says they are taking steps to dissolve the football association. So they went to the minister and presented these two issues. One was to tell the minister that they want to organize an emergency congress and look at the issues, and also to tell government through the minister that they have capable men that can run the football and can bring the football to the level we all want it to be. So they will have a roadmap. But the minister told them that for the emergency congress they want to hold, we all know where we are now, that we are taking steps to dissolve the FA. So it will not be right. And with the current development, there's no way you can even go ahead with that congress. So that was quashed. And also the bit about the roadmap and them having capable men to run the association, they were told that the government is engaging FIFA, and that whatever roadmap they come out with, they will not forget about the football people. So whatever happens, they will be included. So basically, these were the two things they presented to the minister, and that was the minister's response to the committee.
Thank you very much, Benedict, also with all the details of happenings after that expose by Anas Arimea Anas. Let's keep talking about football. And earlier I was telling you, reminding you that it's 2 days of the World Cup in Russia, with thousands of football lovers expected to throng that country to follow the thrilling action that will take place on the pitch. Others will also be glued to their TV and radio sets to monitor the most popular game the world over. Before the action begins, we ask, how much of Russia do you know, and what can you expect from that environment, just in case you want to be there and feel the action in person. In the following reports, we bring a peek of Russia in pictures ahead of World Cup 2018.
Geographically, Russia is the largest country in the world by area. It covers more than 1/8 of the Earth's inhabited land area. It has a population of over 144 million people as of December 2017. The country's capital, Moscow, is one of the largest cities in the world. It is most vibrant and populated too. The Moscow Tower is the most attractive architecture that attracts thousands of tourists across the globe to the European country. Other major cities include St. Petersburg, Novosibirsk, Yekaterinburg, and Nizhny Novgorod. If you've ever found yourself in Moscow, these are some of the Russian foods you would like to eat. Borscht, beef stroganoff, sweet and sour cabbage, sloyanka soup, golubtsi, olivy, blini taras, potato okrashka. The most popular language spoken here is Russian. Football tops all sports and activities in that country. This is followed by hockey and others. The typical Russian is defined by his exposure to the country's literature, philosophies, music, and other forms of arts. Having won the bid to host this year's World Cup, President of that country, Vladimir Putin, promises football lovers this year's game will be a celebration in his country as he welcomes the 32 teams participating in this year's World Cup.
Welcome to all who have already arrived in Russia, and to those who are planning to take part in this landmark international event, the FIFA World Cup. It is with immense joy and great honor that we receive representatives of the great football family. We want this event to be a celebration filled with passion and emotions. I hope you will have an unforgettable experience filled with passion and emotions. I hope you will have an unforgettable experience, not only from watching the matches of your favorite teams and admiring the players' skills, but also getting to know Russia, learning about its identity and culture, its unique history and natural diversity, its hospitable, sincere, and friendly people. We have done our best to ensure that all of our guests, the athletes, the staff, and of course the fans, feel at home in Russia. We have opened both our country and our heart to the world. Welcome to the FIFA World Cup. Welcome to Russia.
Welcome to Russia.
It's the first time the country is hosting the World Cup. Many football enthusiasts are looking forward to a thrilling show, reception, and tourism from the host country. The World Cup is just 2 days away, and here on Joy News, we will bring you all the minutes updates of how events unfold on the pitch.
Stay with us on Joy News on Multi TV. You will get the latest when it comes to the World Cup. Remember, the hashtag on social media is Joy World Cup as we begin on Thursday. So what's in Joy News today? Still up ahead. Registration of members of parliament onto the National Identification System kickstarts with minority boycotting the exercise over concerns on illegality, procurement and cost. And on Joy News agenda today, we continue to keep our focus on Zongo development issues as we take you to some Zongo communities in the central region who are still holding high the promises of government to transform their lives. And we tell you the story of a 15-year-old boy who has become paralyzed after falling from a mango tree and is currently counting on your benevolence to survive. All that and more coming up. Stay with us.